Thanks to Clyde for suggesting this bass line. He was learning Jaco Pastorius's Used to Be a Cha-Cha, and he heard this lick that came up again and again. And I must admit, I've heard this one before. So I'm going to teach you this in this lesson, and this is it. It's really fast. But the key to everything is to just slow it right down. So I'm using this fretless with lines here, and I think part of the trick of that lick is to use a fretless, but we're adapting it a little bit to fretted, so absolutely don't worry. So we're starting on a D, 5th fret of the A string. Okay. And I'm just going to break it down bit by bit because, as I say, it's a little intricate. Once you get it, it will flow a bit more though. We're just going to go to there. So D. Then you've got 2nd finger on the 6th fret of the D string. And it's 2 plucks on that. So I'm going index and then index middle. And then it's a hammer on to the next fret, the A. Now, I'm actually using my little finger for this. I just find it lessens the stretch. You do what you feel you want to on that bit. Very slowly. So it is alternate plucking, but with that expressive hammer-on technique, it's a little awkward to get it, but once you get it, it does flow quite nicely. Okay, now we go back to the D. And this is the way I've tabbed it out like this. So, just starting from the D, the 2nd half of the lick, I'm doing a hammer on between the D and E, frets 5 and 7. But if you listen to the original bass line, it's almost like it's a slide. So maybe actually it's probably this. So fingers 1, 2, 3. So D, D sharp, E. And the next bit is the same as the beginning bit, this bit. Let's zero in on that once more. I'm going to keep going round it, but so don't worry, but this bit here. Or if you do it my way, I was using 2, 3 there, fingers 2 and 3, fingers 2 and 4. Clearly that's a timing thing, so you have to slow it down. The fingers are alternating, index, middle, index. So from the beginning. The notes are really, really short and percussive. And he probably would have been plucking to probably over the bridge pickup. I actually don't have the bridge pickup completely soloed. If I did, get more of that biting sound. I've got pretty much both of them on, maybe the neck pickup slightly backed off, but hand positioning is very important if I was around here. Sounds good, but... Now, whilst I'm here, would you like me to do a lesson on other Jaco Pastorius signature licks? Because I've been on a bit of a rabbit hole on YouTube. Some of his jam sessions from the 80s have cropped up recently, and they're just amazing. And he's got all these kind of licks. You know, all this kind of thing. This kind of real soul language. And I grew up listening to those licks and I absolutely love them. if you do want a lesson on that, leave a comment below. Now, I think we can learn from this. It's not about stealing an amazing player's licks and just using them as your own. He would often use similar kind of riffs over different chords. So, you know, the one I just did there, actually. We have a root. I'm moving to E now, 7th fret. We have a flat third, the G on the D string. And we have a D, that's the flat 7, on the 7th fret of the G string. And that fits over a minor chord. So as a player, it definitely helps to understand what chord tones fit over one particular chord. Especially if you're jamming, you know, in a jam session or you're playing a jazz tune, it definitely helps to know what works over what chord. Going back to this one, it just plays that for a long time, just over, I don't actually know what the chords are, but that would be the root, the D, and that would be the 5, the 5th. These are really common, stable chord tones. And that chromatic lead up into the 5th is quite a common thing. And he was obsessed with soul players like Tommy Cogbill, and they used a lot of that, and, you know, James Jamerson, people like that. And I wonder if it's a little bit of a, you know, of a nod to the hat to them. I mean, he obviously made these licks his own. But this would actually work over a major or a minor chord, because we've got like a root and a 5. And that's just a major second, and those notes are present in those chords. So that's why if you listen to a lot of his playing, a lot of these signature licks come up, and they work a lot over lots of different chords. Okay, so it's 136 beats per minute. That's really, really fast. What I would recommend is that you lead up to that, perhaps with a metronome. But at first, just try to get it grooving slower without any kind of external time like this, you know. Now I'm adding some ghost notes in there, which may or may not be there on the original, but you can make things like this your own. I always say, learn as many bass lines as you can from your favorite players in all different genres, and don't feel afraid to borrow the ideas and make them your own. I think that's where you don't sound like a clone. You start to develop your own voice by doing that. See, I'm going like that. A bit of raking. If nothing else, it's an absolutely amazing technical exercise. But if you are on a jam session or you want to make up a bass line, why not, if appropriate, put that lick in or something similar to that? So just a couple of things. If you want me to do that lesson where I'll maybe do 5 or 6 of Jaco's absolutely amazing signature licks from other songs, leave me a comment below. And the second thing is, if you're a regular viewer, would you mind subscribing to the channel? Because that really, really helps. My analytics tell me that a lot of people watch my videos but don't subscribe, and subscription helps me grow the channel. So if you could do that, that would be absolutely amazing. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next lesson.